Hello guys, welcome to Online Web Tutor. I am Sanjay. We are learning Laravel 8 framework tutorial. This is our part number 110. Inside this video, we will see that how to install Vue Js inside Laravel 8. So while going through this topic, actually we have two options to install inside Laravel 8. Also with this same topic, we have an article over this blogging website. If we go here, so inside this blogging website, as we can see here that we have two articles, that is how to install Vue.js in Laravel 8, and also here by the help of a Laravel UI package. So we have two options. Either we can use Laravel UI package with the Vue.js integration, or simply we can do means without any package. So how can we work with that? So we will see inside this video all about without any Laravel UI package. So if I click on this article, click on read more. If suppose you are not getting this article at this home layout because it is latest blog post, so to find this article, simply if you're not seeing here, click on this blog, click on this search icon and simply type Vue.js, press enter. So here we have the current application using Vue.js, how to install Vue.js in Laravel 8, and this is using Laravel UI. So for this video, we are going to use this Laravel UI. So I will click on this article. This article is totally from scratch. It means from application installation up to application testing. So what we will do, first of all, we need a Laravel setup. So inside this article here we have the command to install a fresh Laravel setup. So I will copy, go to folder. We are currently inside this folder, so I will open this folder into my terminal, make some zoom, and simply I am go and paste this command, and let's say that this application is something Laravel-Vue.js. If I press enter, it will take some time to install this Laravel setup. So successfully, as we can see that now we have installed. Back to folder structure, let's open this setup into my VS Code. And successfully now I have imported into this VS Code editor. Back to article. So after installation of Laravel, now we need to install this Vue npm package. So to install Vue npm package, here we have the command, that is by using our npm we are installing Vue package. So simply I will copy this command. Back to terminal. First of all, let's go inside our setup, that is cd Laravel-Vue.js. So Laravel-Vue.js, and inside this setup I will run this npm command, that is npm install Vue. And one more thing before installation, if we go inside this setup, click on this package.json file, and inside this package.json file, as we can see inside this div dependencies, we don't have any like Vue keyword. So after installation via this npm install Vue, we will see some packages will be also updated inside this package.json file. So let's install it first, hit enter, and successfully as we can see that our Vue package has been installed. And one more thing that actually I forgot to tell you, that while working with this node or npm, your system must have these. It means in my system, if I clear this terminal, if I type node -- version, press enter, so in my system currently the node is available, that is 15.6.0, and if I type for the npm -- version, this is my npm version. So while working with this Vue.js or some kind of node or npm, your system have these modules like node or npm. So let's say that we have installed our Vue package. If I back to editor, and now inside this package.json file, we can see that we have another object called dependencies, and inside this object now we have a property called Vue, and this is the version. So currently now this application have Vue dependencies. Now if I back to article, we have installed successfully this package. Now we need to run our npm installer. So npm install, back to terminal, simply type the command called npm install. This command actually will install all our node dependencies and packages. So if I press enter, that is npm install, it will take some time and it will install all the packages, and successfully, as we can see that all the packages now installed. Now if I back here, next we need to update our Wpac file. So we will see that Wpac file. So go inside this editor, inside this root directory. Here as we can see that we have wpac.mix.js. So inside this Wpac file, simply we need to add here, let's say Vue, because we are going to use the Vue front-end language. If suppose we are working with this React, we need to add the React method, or we need to see that what methods actually available for this Wpac. Back to article. So this is our initial code, and here we have updated by Vue method. Now next, we need to run the command called npm run dev. Or before running npm run dev, it means before bootstrap or compile our application, we need to create the Vue instance. So here we need to open app.js file from resources and JS folder. So go inside this editor, resources, JS folder, and by default when we install Laravel, these two files are available inside this JS directory. So open all about this is app.js. So right now inside this app.js we have a single line of code where we have included this bootstrap.js file. So we need to create an instance of Vue here. So first of all, we need to load Vue, what we have actually installed via npm, means import Vue, and this is from Vue package. Now next, we need to create an instance. So I will copy this code and pasting it here. So this is const app. Here we have new Vue. It means we are creating a Vue instance, and we are telling Vue that all the things we will load inside this app selector. Here app is an ID, we will specify soon. So if I go here, next we need to create our first Vue component. So for the component, what I will do, we need to create a folder for the perfect folder structure. So go inside this JS folder, new folder, and I will call it as components. Inside this components folder, we will create all the components what we need, let's say for our Laravel Vue.js application. So if I back to blog article, so for this tutorial we are referring about component, means about component.vue. So here is the complete code. So first of all, we need to create a component file. Go inside this component folder, create a file called about component.vue. And one more thing, .vue is the extension, is not only for the Vue.js. This is the extension actually indicates that this is a Vue component. Now inside this component we need to write some code. So inside any of the component inside Vue.js, we have three elements, like we have a template section, we have a script tag, and also we have a style tag. The template tag indicates that what are the things actually, what is the HTML code we are going to render. Inside our script tag, we are telling that this component is going to bind or with the export extra properties. Inside our style component, style element, we specify the styling of that component. So if I go here, right now we have a template, means this is a tag, template tag. Here we have a script tag, and also we have a style tag. So if I will copy the complete code, go here, pasting it here. So as we had discussed that we have the template component, means template element. Inside this template element we need the HTML code what we will render for this about component.vue file. Inside this script we are exporting this about component to use inside this application. This is our Vue.js event method. When this about component will fire, this event method automatically will fire, and this message will get inside our console. Next we have the style, and here we have the attribute called scoped. It means these CSS properties will run only for this component file. So here we have three different elements called template, script and style. All the Vue components these actually elements should have. Now next, if I go here, and I think that we have done all the coding, means we have copied all the code. Next we have the registration of component view what we have created with the application. Here we have registration of component to view. Simply this is the component, but right now we haven't tell our application that this component we have created and we need to use this file. So how we need to register this component inside this view? Simply we have two methods called method1 and method2. So we will use this first method. Simply I will copy this line, go inside this app.js file and I will adding it here. Simply by the help of this line we are registering our about component, means this is the component which is coming from components folder. We are telling our application that this is the tag which is globally registered for this about component. Now we have done. If I back to blog article, next I need to copy this code. This is the complete code of app.js file, and here we have used the second method. We are preferring all about the first method. Also we'll discuss that second method later on. So these all things we had discussed all about for the Vue.js. Now next we need to create a blade layout file. So about us.blade.php file, and this is the file we'll create inside resources and views folder. So let's create that file, and inside this file this is the complete code called about us.blade.php. So I will copy, go and pasting it here. Now inside this file look at the code. Here we have included app.css file which is coming from CSS folder. At the footer here we have a script tag. Inside this we have included app.js which is coming from JS folder. Now if we see these folders called CSS and JS inside this resources folder, here we have those folders. But keep in mind we are not including app.css from this CSS directory. We are not including this app.js file from this CSS folder. Instead, when we compile this application using command called npm run dev, automatically that compiler will bootstrap, compile our application and store app.css file. App.js file means compiled minified version of those files inside public directory. So right now inside this public folder we don't have app.css as well as app.js. But when we run the command npm run dev, it will go and compile all the Vue.js application settings what we did, and it will compile these two files called app.css, app.js file, means all these things, and will place inside this public folder. And inside this about us.blade.php, look at this div id. Here we have a specified id equals to app. Go inside this app.js, inside this instance, as we can see we have selector id. It means we are telling our application that we need to run and load all the Vue components, all the Vue related stuff inside this directory. Means inside this selector, inside this id, we have about us tag. This is not a HTML defined tag. This is a Vue.js tag, means a component tag what we have created and registered inside this application. Again back to this app.js, as we can see here we have registered a component called about-us, and this is the component, this is the syntax, how actually it has been used. So simply after doing all these things, back to blog article. Next we need to create that route so that we can call this about us.blade.php. So I will copy that. This is a closer route because inside this route we don't have any controller. Go inside this application, open up web.php from this routes folder. Let's include this route. This is a closer route. We will type about into URL. It will call this about us file, and inside this file we have these compiled files. called app.css, app.js. Here we have a selector in which Vue.js is going to render, and this is the component what we have registered here. Back to blog article. And finally, we need to bootstrap and compile our application. While running this command called npm run dev, it will go and compile all the things what we did inside this JS directory. So simply, and one more issue we want to see that if we go here, let's remove this .vue, and after removing that, I will now compile this application called npm run dev back to application and type our command called npm run dev, pressing enter. As we can see that the compilation process now is starting. And as we can see that here we have a Laravel mix error, and the error indicates that application not compiled successfully. And here we have some error that is you may need an appropriate loader to handle this file type. And as we have configured this application with Vue.js settings, so we need to add Vue here. All we have done. This is the thing actually we need to see before doing our compilation. So back to terminal. Go and remove all these things. Again type call npm run dev, pressing enter. Compilation process, now as we can see it has been now started. And as we can see that the application has been compiled and this is build successful. All the files what we had seen inside our resources folder called app.js and app.css, go inside this JS directory. Here we have app.js, app.css. So all these files now compiled and saved inside this public folder. So where we have those files, if I reload, go inside this public folder. And inside this public folder, as we can see, we have two folders called CSS and JS folder. And these are those files what we have compiled from this resources folder. Go inside this JS folder. Here we have the compiled file app.js. Go inside this CSS. And inside this CSS, we don't have any code because inside this main setup app.css we don't have any code. So successfully now we have compiled our application and all these files now moved into this public folder. This is our compiled minified version, and that's why these files now linked with this about us.play.php. Let's start our development server. So PHP artisan serve. If I press enter, if I open this link into my browser, so open link, and here as we can see that this is our landing page. So once we type the URL called about, if I back to editor, go inside our web.php, so this is the about route. So this is not about -us, this is only about. When we press enter, and this is Vue.js file, because inside this about route we are including this Vue file, and inside this Vue file we don't have any code which is going to render this layout. Instead we have an element, and this element is a Vue.js component what we have registered inside this app.js is here, and inside this about us component, this is the component file actually linked. And inside our about component.vue, this is what we had done. If suppose, let's say that, hi, welcome to about us page. Now if we save, and if we go inside this browser and reload, we are not able to see those changes. Why? Because again, we need to actually compile our application. As we know that inside this about us.play.php, these files are linked is actually the old one. Again, we have done some changes, so again we need to compile our application so that the compiled files will be replaced the old files from public folder. So go here, Let's npm run dev, pressing enter. Again our compilation process will start and it will compile all the files and will store inside public folder. As we can see, that application has been compiled and it has stored inside app.js means JS directory and our CSS directory. PHP artisan serve, press enter. Start a development server, go and reload this page, and as we can see that our changes. So here we have a question. Question is that if suppose we are creating any Vue.js application, if we are doing some changes means frequently, so again and again we need to type this npm run dev command to compile our application. No, because means by the help of npm also we have the minimum packages. While going through those packages, we can add watcher inside our application. Means we have a command available called npm run watch. By implementing those commands, actually, if we change any changes inside this component file, immediately it will reflect inside here. So this is the video guys all about our Vue.js installation inside Laravel 8 setup. And as I told you that also we have an article that is Vue.js installation inside Laravel 8 using Laravel UI. Also you can check out this article. So for this video session guys, thank you for watching and have a great day.